Hi, it's Tash from Foxes and Brown Bears Tarot, and today I'm doing a culling video. I am minimizing, and I've kind of gone through and decided on a number of decks that will be leaving my collection. There are three I'm going to go through first, and then the others are Doreen Virtue decks. So the first one that's going to be leaving my collection is the Divine Doors by Andres and Gracia. I bought this because it's a really cute little deck by Rockpool Publishing. Cute little magnetic box. And comes with no book. And I bought them because the pictures are just beautiful. They are so gorgeous. But I've never used it, mainly because the doors don't really speak to me in terms of messages. And even though they are gorgeous, gorgeous images, I just have decks that I will reach for every time instead of this one. And the backs have little messages on them, and the messages just don't resonate with me. I mean, some of them are alright, but I also, I just don't know. I just don't love them. And some of them are okay, like you're not finished, you're not done, dig deeper and deeper, the best is to come, hold on, hold on. But you know what? Like, I just don't feel it. I really, really don't feel them. The Sacred Lotus, for example, is linked to that door. That makes no sense to me. And it's a beautiful deck, and I actually think it's gorgeous, and I know some people love it. And so, I have to say that when I'm going through these decks, it's not that they are bad decks, they're just decks that don't resonate with me. I don't know, they just don't. Even though the images are so beautiful in this little deck. So that's going to be moving on. Another deck that's going to be moving on is the Myths and Mermaids, Oracle of the Water by Jasmine Beckett Griffith with Amber Logan and Katrina Micheletto. And this one's an interesting one because it's got 44 cards, and I've had it for years, but I've never used it. And comes in this gorgeous box. It is by Blue Angel, and nice little, and it's in really good condition still. The booklet is gorgeous. As you can see, it's really in like outstanding condition. And it does go through and give you quite a lot of information, some on readings, and the card messages kind of give you 2 pages. So you'll have a little thumbnail, you'll have the title of the card, you'll have a little verse, description of the arts, a divination method, and then like an antithesis message, which is like a reversed meaning. And so they're very, very cute. And the book's amazing. I really like it. It is a very, very good and very, very practical messages, you know. So that's what I find about it. It's nothing obscure. So fish out of water, home is where the heart is. Get ready to erupt, exercise self-restraint, look beneath the surface, do not be afraid to trust, follow your guiding star. Very practical advice. Now, looking at the actual deck, there's no gilding. These are the backs. They're quite pretty. And it's Jasmine Beckett Griffith's beautiful artwork. And I've got most of her decks, and I love them, and I'll never get rid of them. They'll always remain in my collection because I love her artwork. But I'm not a mermaid person. And I think I bought this just because I do love her artwork. But then it's not a deck I go to because I will be using one of her others instead. And so, yes. The other thing I don't love is that some of the cards are in landscape. That just doesn't work for me. I don't love it. But as I said, the artwork's beautiful. And if you're a fan of Jasmine Beckett Griffith, then this is gorgeous. And if you're a fan of mermaids, then this is like the best deck ever. Really, really beautiful. And if you don't mind some cards being in landscape. As I said, I've been keeping it forever because I love the artwork, but because I'm not into mermaids, I just haven't got into it. And I think it would, you know, have a happier home elsewhere. So yes, so that's the Myths and Mermaids deck. And as you can see, it is gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. Yes, now I did mention as well, like if anyone is interested in any of these decks, please let me know. I will be trying to sell them. And obviously if you're in Australia, that would be really easy to do. And so yeah, just let me know because I would like to pass those on to good homes. So yes. Other one is the Mystic Fairy Tarot by Linda Ravenscroft, text by Barbara Moore. I bought this on a whim. I was depressed one day and I thought, oh, it's so pretty. And this is a Llewellyn printed deck. It's a beautiful large box, magnetic closure. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that. Like the production value is just your standard Llewellyn. It's gorgeous. The book is like over 300 pages. It is a beautiful, to be honest, I haven't even really read it. And the reason for that is the artwork just didn't resonate with me. And I love it. It's so pretty. But once again, just like the mermaid deck, I'm not a fairy person. And I thought I'd like it because I love the Hidden Realm tarot. And I thought, well, that's kind of fairy. But I think that's because that's got a totally different vibe to it. I'm not a cutesy fairy person. It's not my thing. And so I haven't really got into it. And I was kind of excited that the cards actually tell stories. And the guidebook is beautiful. Yeah, it is a lovely guidebook that has a couple pages per card for the major arcana, and for the minor arcana you have just one page plus the picture. And what's cool about it is it does actually explain the artwork and then gives you the message. So it is a lovely book. So definitely it's got some readings as well at the back, quite a number of them, as you'd expect from a Barbara Moore deck. Then you got this gorgeous ribbon. The colors are beautiful. Green's my favorite color, so I thought I really liked this one. Now it's your standard Llewellyn cardstock, so similar to pretty much every other current Llewellyn deck that comes in this sort of box. No gilding. These are the backs. They are beautiful. I love the backs. In fact, they're my favorite part of this deck. I love them so much. And I was even thinking, could I keep them just for that? But just, yeah. And look, the artwork is gorgeous. It is truly, truly beautiful. And it's just so well thought out and detailed. And I think if you're into pretty fairies, then this is a deck for you. It does rename some of the cards, as you can see. You got the priest. And I mean, look at that card. It's beautiful, right? So I love this card. It's one of my favorites in the deck. The chariot's beautiful. And yes, it's a gorgeous deck. I'm just not a fairy person. And yeah, this whole pastel-y fairy thing just isn't me, and I don't even know why I thought it would be, because it's not like I've changed immensely. I should have known myself, and I really shouldn't have bought it. Look at the moon card though, it's so beautiful. And I think that's it. I got captivated by the artwork without really thinking about whether this is a deck I would use. And the reality is I won't use it, and it's just not my thing. And as I said, the reason I got it is because the suits tell that story, and at the same time, yeah, it's such pretty colors. And yeah, I'm kind of sad I haven't resonated with this one, but yeah. And as you can see, the suits are slightly different colors, and like for example, where the swords, yeah, so slightly different tones, and each suit tells a different story with the same characters within it. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, it's a very well thought out deck, and it's a beautiful deck. So, but not for me, not for me. And I think I knew this because I didn't actually even look for fabric for a bag. I just went in my cupboard. So it deserves a better home. All right, now I'm moving on to all my Doreen Virtue decks that I've decided to pass on. I'm keeping a few of them, and so that I won't be showing those. And some of them I love and I'll always keep, I think. But there's some that I think I bought because I've had them for years and I haven't really used some of them that much. I used them because I was really into her style of deck at the time. And to be honest, I probably wasn't even aware of what else was out there. And I kind of went a bit overboard. And so, but I've thought about it ruthlessly now, and I think they could be better served elsewhere. Now, all these decks are out of print. And so I figured that if someone's desperate for one of these and they can no longer get it, I'd rather these go to them than sit in the back of my cupboard. So the first one is the Angel Dreams Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Melissa Virtue. And this has 55 cards. And this is really just looking at, it's about dreams, ultimately, dream symbols. And it's Hay House, it's your standard 2-part box, and you have the standard Hay House booklet with it. Once again, tells you a lot about how to use all the cards, and each card has 2 pages associated with it, really. Some of them a little bit more. And it just kind of looks at different dream symbols that you might have. But I have never really worked with dreams, and I found that using it in other ways, I just couldn't use it as an oracle deck. And I also found that even as dream symbols, there are certain things that I have never, dreamt about. Like I've never dreamt about a waning moon, or, food, yes, maybe, but dress rehearsal, I've never dreamt about that. Bathrooms never featured predominantly in my dreams. So anyway, so I found that I just didn't know how to use it. So these are the backs. These are your standard Hay House oracle size decks. Now they do have gold gilding, which is in still pretty good nick. Even though I did use these cards a little bit because I did try and bond with them. But it's still in pretty good nick. It's only really just on corners. I don't know if you can tell, there are a few nicks. And it is wearing off slightly, as this type of gilding tends to do. And the cards all have this massive starry night border. Not great, but it works for the theme of the deck. And then you've got the name of the card, and then you've got a keyword and just these pretty little pictures. So school is about lessons, High Council, evolution, information, potential. But once again, I've never dreamt about a High Council, so I've never dreamt about mugwort. And yeah, and I suppose you could use this as an oracle deck, but it just never really resonated with me. So I kept trying to use it and I didn't get much out of it. So that wasn't, it was just something that didn't work for me. So yes, ugh, horrible snake. Yes, so that one is moving on. All right, I'm going pretty slowly. I've got a lot of decks to go through. So, but if you are interested in maybe grabbing one of these or just interested to see what I'm culling and why, keep watching. Another one is the Archangel Raphael Healing Oracle cards. These are 44 cards. Once again, Hay House, 2-piece box, and nice inside of the box. And the book, once again, fairly standard, 2 pages per card. These are the backs, so they're quite pretty. I love the green. I love green a lot. Once again, gold gilding, which is nicked a little bit. It has rubbed off in a few places. Other than that, the cards are in excellent condition. Like I don't riffle shuffle. I'm very careful with my cards, so they're all in pretty good condition. And this is lovely, and I love healing stuff, so this is why I bought them. But then I thought it was a little too specific for me, and that's why I found I've just never really used it. The artwork doesn't appeal to me that much either. So consult a nutritionist. Well, I've never felt the need to consult a nutritionist, and yeah, so I don't know. And so I don't love all the things. Some of it's quite religious, you know, have faith. Well, yeah, it's not my kind of thing. Good night sleep's good. Prayer works well, depends on your beliefs. Yeah, so it's not my thing. It's a bit too religious for me. It's I feel it's a bit preachy, but if you are looking for a healing deck and you like the sort of religious themes to it, then this would be a deck you might like. And if you like working with angels and whatnot, like there is some good things. This card like really got to me because I love my coffee. I'm never giving up coffee. So yes, as you can see, very religious though. So it's something to consider if this is a deck that you were trying to look for. So yes, so that one is leaving my collection. All right, another one is the Talking to Heaven mediumship cards by Doreen Virtue and James Van Praagh. Once again, 44 cards, Hay House. It's the nice 2-piece box and yellow inners. And this one I've just never really got into. I don't even know why I bought it, because I don't like mediumship. It's not my thing. And I think I bought it just to complete a collection. And once again, you can see it's in pristine condition just because it's never really resonated with me. Like, look at the book. I haven't even read the book. And it does give you just, it's probably the equivalent of a page because the font's quite large. And yes, they're the backs of the cards. The backs are beautiful. Once again, gold gilding. I haven't used these a lot, but once again, it is chipping a little. And then here are the fronts. And the fronts don't appeal to me enormously, I have to say. They're not my favorites. And yeah. And I guess really, it only really works as a mediumship deck. And so if you're not into mediumship like this, I don't know, I can't see another way I'd use it. And it's just not my thing. So yeah, I haven't found it particularly useful. So that is a deck that once again is moving on. Even though it's very different artwork, it's kind of cool. Like, I like the modern style to some extent. I just feel like the messages don't work for me because they don't work for my practice. And so that is going. All right, another one that's going is the Archangel Michael Oracle cards. Once again, 44 cards, Hay House box. Yeah, all these boxes are all standard Hay House. Now, I have used this one slightly more, but I mean, the box, it's all still pristine. The book has just those 2 pages per card, and it's got the thumbnail, the title of the card, a message, possible specific meanings, and then a prayer. And the backs are beautiful. I have to say, I do actually really like the backs of these cards. They are gorgeous. Once again, a gold gilding that is just slightly a bit scuffed on the corners. Though the cards are still intact, it's just the gilding's kind of brushed off. But I reckon some of this gilding actually comes off even before you even take it out of the box, really. And these are the fronts. So once again, borders. And they all messages from Archangel Michael. So this one, let go of fear now. And then you have a prayer to let go of fear. So Archangel Michael, please help me feel safe and deserving of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. And so they all have that sort of thing. And so a message and then a prayer. And once again, just a standard kind of a collation of artwork that's not particularly consistent and cohesive. But if you like working of Archangel Michael, this is probably one of the ones that I did use a little bit, just because some of the messages resonate a little bit more. But I've actually, yeah, I'm not a big angel person really anymore. I've moved on, and I don't use this, and I'm sure there's people out there who would be desperate for this deck because it is out of print. And so I shall pass it on. So yes, so that's the Archangel Michael Oracle cards, the guidebook. All right, moving on. Moving on is the daily guidance from your angels. Once again, 44 cards, Hay House, standard little box. And this one I have used. I have used this one. I actually used to really like this book and deck. And once again, you have like about 2 pages. Very same sort of deal. You have a little message, your meaning, additional meanings. So yeah, it's a cute little book. And this one, these are the backs. It is kind of glossy. Gilding has chipped a lot more than some of the others. Like here, for example, in the corners, I don't know if you can tell, there's quite a bit of chipping. And these I've used a little bit more because it, I don't know, it just seems, I like the artwork a bit more, even though it's not cohesive. And I've quite enjoyed working on some of the messages. Though some of them didn't really work for me. Like if you're not an entrepreneur, then that's a weird daily card to pull. But they're quite pretty, and I have to say I have used these a lot more than some of the others that I am passing on. But it has served its purpose. It is not something I use anymore. And so I've decided that this is also moving on. Just another thing is there is a lot of mention of God. So your primary relations is with yourself and God. Okay. So if you're not into that, you may not like this deck very much. Once again, there is a fair bit of religious style imagery. So, but it is pretty, and I like the different colors. I think that works quite nicely. Okay, so that's the daily guidance from your angels, oracle cards. All right, so another one I'm passing on that I've never used is the Mary Queen of Angels oracle cards. I bought, once again, Hay House, 44 cards. And I bought this because, once again, I think it was just completing a collection. And I quite like the energy of Mary. But it was just too religious for me. And it just didn't resonate. And yes, this was before I knew you could watch walkthroughs and things. So yeah, and just like a short little message. Not very much in the book. Book's pristine. These are the backs. Gold gilding, and this one's virtually intact. I mean, the corners are never great anyway when they come in, when you buy them. And these are the fronts. I don't like the fronts. I don't like the yellow-blue combo. I think it's a bit garish. I do like some of the keywords. They work, but then it's very, very religious. So hope is then, I trust that God has a wonderful solution, brilliant plans in store for me. Inner child's cute. I really like that one. Honesty's a good one. The images are pretty. I love their medieval style, Renaissance style artwork. So the artwork is truly beautiful. And as I said, some of the keywords are lovely. But, you know, like marriage, I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. Now, if that's not your belief, then that's a weird card to get. I also find marriage is an overly specific keyword, so that didn't resonate with me at all. And, yeah. This one's lovely. I love the Lady and the Unicorn tapestries. They're my favorites. And so this is probably my favorite card in the deck. But once again, it's about divine timing. I know that God, see. So, and then it's like trust. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're beautiful. I love the artwork. I like some of the keywords. And I just find it a bit religious, and I've got other decks I'd pull instead, and so it really isn't one that I'm going to use, and I haven't really used it. Yeah, it's just not my thing, and it's a bit too gaudy for me. So that's the Mary Queen of Angels oracle cards. All right, moving on. Another one is the Archangel Gabriel oracle cards. Once again, 44 cards. And orange inners. Cool little book. All my books are in good condition. I don't bend books out or anything. This is a slightly skinnier book. So as you can see, it only has one page per card. And this one's really about messengers. So supporting human messengers such as writers, artists, craftspeople, musicians, teachers, journalists, and more. So it's about announcements and things. The artwork's beautiful in this one. So there is like a gold gilding. That's actually quite a dark gold. Once again, slightly scuffed in parts. The backs are beautiful. I really like those. And the artwork's very pretty. It's actually quite a cohesive deck in terms of artwork. Note that it is that glossy that bunches. So if you don't like that, you won't like this deck. And it's got really cool messages. And this isn't very gaudy. But it's not something I use because I don't do creative projects. I don't know. So I've never really found a need for using this deck. And every time I've pulled it out, it hasn't really resonated with what I needed it for. So like share your art of the world. Well, if you're not an artist and you don't do creative things, I don't know what art I'm supposed to share with the world. Speeches and speaking. Okay, well, everyone can have messages. Stay true to yourself is a great card. And I actually don't even mind the borders and the structure of the cards. They're very pretty. You know, prosperity, perfectionism. Some of the cards have stuck together a little bit. Pay attention to your dreams. Open your heart to love. Nurture yourself. New projects. Vulnerability. Writers group. See, like, I've pulled that card before. I have zero interest in writing. Why would I join a writers group? Vision board, not my thing once again. So, I don't know. I mean, it's beautiful. And I think if you're a creative type person, this is a fabulous deck. And does still have some religious elements, obviously, there. But yeah, this is a lovely one. It really is. And I think if I was still into angels and another more creative person, this is probably a deck I'd keep. But as such, it can go to a better home because I don't use it. I don't show it any love. All right, another one is the Indigo Angel Oracle cards. This is by Doreen Virtue and Charles Virtue, her son. And this is 44 cards. Once again, a Hay House 2-part box. Very pretty. This one really is about people supposedly indigo angels. And so it's about their mission and assisting them with their mission. I don't know why I bought this because it really doesn't resonate with me at all in terms of its meaning. It's a very skinny guidebook once again. And you only have the one little page for each card. So this one has silver gilding, which is quite damaged, really. Like it's chipped off. I mean, the cards are still pristine. It's just the gildings come off, as these tend to come, particularly when they stick together. And so when you pull them apart, like the gilding kind of flakes off. The backs are gorgeous, really, really beautiful. I love those backs. And the cards are actually quite nice in terms of they have fairly cohesive artwork, and they also just have the one keyword, so you don't have chunks of text, and it's a little less gaudy, even though obviously it's about angels. So authority, you are not alone, you are safe, you are special, manifest, self-reflection, physical outlet, pray, release, relax, believe in yourself. So fairly easy keywords that you can really use for whatever purpose you need. So they're quite nice. And as I said, the artwork's really pretty. I find the borders quite pretty too. It's nicely integrated. They're very well designed cards in my opinion, and I just don't resonate with the theme of the deck. You do have some archangels there as well. Yeah, and yeah, so it is a pretty deck, I have to say, and I don't use it, and I can't see myself really using it. All right, a few more. Sorry, this is going to go forever. Got the Healing with the Fairies Oracle cards, 44 cards once again. Hay House box. This was one of her early ones, so they're in the old style books, and it just has the one page per card. So this is nice. So you got the little thumbnail, the title of the card, a card meaning, and then a longer meaning, and then an affirmation. And the affirmations are really cool. I'm very into affirmations. So yes, pretty box. No gilding on these. So it's actually better because they're actually in fairly good condition. And these are the backs. So really quite pretty. These are the fronts, massive borders, but they are different colors, so they're kind of cool, and they're all very different. And I quite like these messages. So problem resolved, inner child, detoxification. But as you can see, the artwork's not particularly cohesive. It's just discovered like artwork. It's not designed for the deck, really. And although I do love the colors are gorgeous. But once again, I'm not a fairy card. I really don't like this card. But I'm not a fairy person. And for the same reason that I'm getting rid of the Mystic Fairy. And so it's really not my thing. And I think I can, I've got other decks I would pull out instead. But the keywords are lovely on this. They are very workable and lovely. And yes, so definitely something that I think people would find quite helpful at times. This is a very pretty card. So yes, but I'm just not an angel, a person, and not fairy person. So yeah, so that one's moving on as well. And I've just got so many oracle decks that I would so use instead. So yeah, that's going. I've got a few more. So I've got the Cherub Angel cards for children. So this is 44 cards by Hay House. And this is very cute. It's got a little magnetic box, opens out. And basically, if I can get it out, it's got this cute little book. And they're just very short little messages, and it's really cute. Like, it is a very cute deck. And it's got this little cardboard insert, and the cards are teensy weensy. All right, so in comparison to the book, you can see how tiny they are. And this is a standard size Hay House book. These are the backs, no gilding, and they're just very cute little cards. Lovely artwork. And the messages are very much attuned to children, though once again, it is quite angelly and religious. That's pretty though, I like that one. So yes, so, and I don't even know why I bought this, because as if I'd ever use this. And yeah, it is cute. It is a very cute deck if you want, you know, if you've got a child who wants to have an oracle. That is very cute and very angel-y and gentle. So yes, so that is the Cherub Angel cards for children. And never use that. Then I have the Past Lives Oracle cards. Spuddering Virtue and Brian Weiss, 44 cards. Once again, you have the booklets. It's in pretty much perfect condition. And you've got just over a little page of meaning. These cards have gold gilding, the same standard gold gilding that is chipped in places. These are the backs. And these are the fronts. Now, I've tried to use this and it just didn't work, because to be honest, it's too limited in terms of 44 cards. So I guess you could try and use it in another way. But yeah, it just didn't work for me. And I'm not into like past life readings and that, but very limited in terms of the symbols and the places and whatnot. So, and professions and things. So I mean, as you can imagine, you can only have so many in 44 cards. So there really isn't much. And in terms of angels, I don't know why angels are there. to me. That doesn't speak of past lives. But yes, it is pretty though. And I think if you're into past life readings, this could be useful as an extra kind of oracle deck to go along with your reading. So it is cute. So yeah, but not my cup of tea, not how I practice, and yeah, a bit limited for me. Just I didn't resonate. All right, another one is the Angel Therapy Oracle cards. Once again, 44 cards, and here you have nice little book. This is one of the thicker books, and you have kind of 2 pages per card. This is cool because it actually has action steps as well, so it's got quite a lot of meaning in it. This has gold gilding. This is very not chipped, like the gilding has flaked off on the corners in particular, mainly because it's probably the deck I've used the most that I'm getting rid of. I did quite like it, and did use it immensely, even though it's in still perfect condition. Like, other than the gilding having flaked off in bits, it is in perfect condition. These are the backs. It is glossy like all the others, and these are the fronts. And yeah, I used to love this deck, I really did, but I find that my practice has evolved past this at this stage. And not evolved's not the right word. It's not that my practice has become better than this. It's just that it's moved in a different way. Like, I'm more into professional, personal development, and yeah, I've got other decks that I would use instead. Like, I would never use mediumship, for example, as I mentioned. I don't work with chakras a lot, and there are a lot of chakra cards, and yes, so I guess it's just not a deck that works with how I use my decks at the moment. But it is beautiful, like it is gorgeous, and if you into healing, and it is a lovely deck, and I think the artwork's actually quite pretty in this one, and I really do like the artwork. So yeah, so that's the therapy card, Angel Therapy cards. So yes, all right, then we will get to an end, I promise. We have the Life Purpose Oracle cards, 44 cards once again, and fairly chunky book, just a page and a bit of meaning. And yeah, once again, gold gilding, it is flaked off. These are the backs, and these are quite pretty, and I have to say they did work quite well. Once again, though, 44 cards, quite limiting in terms of life purpose when you think about the myriad of ways your life can have purpose, and the different professions you can have, the different paths you can take. And so it is a little bit limited, but it is lovely. The borders are quite large. I don't like all the artwork, really don't like this card. It's not very cohesive artwork, but if you are into kind of life path readings, it is quite cute, and it did work quite well, and I did bear with it for a while, but then started finding that it lacked slightly, so that's why I am getting rid of this one. But yeah, it is pretty, and I have to say it does still have quite a good variety of areas, and because it's got things like animals, it means it doesn't have to have, you know, vet and farmer, whatever. Like you can read intuitively into that. So yes, and writing, of course, can be a myriad of different professions and whatnot. Flowers can be multiple things, and so you can kind of draw quite a lot from it. So it's not, but I'm just not going to use it again. But yeah, you can see the gilding's flaked. All right. And another one that I'm getting rid of is the Angel Answers. It's by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. I did use this a bit, though. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have other decks I'll reach for instead. That's the only reason I'm getting rid of this one. And it just got the little page really for each card. These are gold gilded. These are still in pretty good nick, actually. Shows it's either better quality one or I didn't use it as much. These are the backs. I don't love the backs. And then these are the fronts. And so what these are is they give you direct answers to questions, you know, so will this happen or whatever, and you got reconsider or yes, or helpful people help you, opportunity, remain positive. I find the borders really, really over the top, but yeah, it works. It is a nice deck if you do yes and no questions, or very specific questions, and so it can definitely work for that. I just find that I don't read predictive readings. I don't do them, and therefore this deck is kind of obsolete in my collection. No, it just doesn't work, because I would never go, when will something happen? So I don't need to know that it's a year from now. So yes, I find that a lot of the cards just don't work for the types of readings I do. So that is why this one is getting rehomed. All right. And then I've got the Magical Messages from the Fairies. Once again, 44 cards. And very chunky book, this one. And a nice little, you got the keyword meaning there, additional meanings and whatnot. So you've actually got quite a bit of information there. Now this one is gold gilded. Once again, the corners are a little bit chipped. Well, in terms of not chipped, but the gilding's flaked off. These are the backs. It is glossy. And these are the fronts. So you've got a key word, phrase, and then you've got an extended phrase there. These are very practical, and so I find that they are quite nice and very material based, I guess. And I just haven't found them particularly useful. Just once again, because I'm not that cutesy fairy person. And once again, I don't find that I do readings that these keywords would work towards, because some of these keywords are really looking at predictive readings, and not my thing. Very cute little card. Yes, so that is the Magical Messages from the Fairies, but you can see the art's not cohesive, standard Doreen Virtue, but it is very cute, and if you like fairies, this is gorgeous. You'd really like this deck. And all right, so I've got one more oracle and then a tarot. All right, so then I've got some messages from your angels, oracle cards, what your angels want you to know, 44 cards. And this one is one of the older ones too, the little stapled book. and 1 page per card. And these are not gilded, which is perfect. They're in outstanding condition. These are the backs, glossy, and they're really pretty. You know, they've got so each angel has a name, and then it has a message. So I'm the angel of peace. I bring you tranquility and a smooth road ahead. So it really is a different angel bringing you a nice little message. And so this is very cute. I really like it. Once again, the artwork's not particularly cohesive, and I feel that I've outgrown it in the sense that my practice has changed. It's become something different from what it used to be. Not necessarily better or worse, just different. Love this card. Yes, so I think it is cute and quite nice messages, I have to say. They are lovely messages, and all the borders are different, and they have artwork put into them, integrated. And yes, I think it's quite a lovely little deck, that one. So that's messages from your angels. Yeah, and I feel like I don't use angel decks that much anymore, so yeah. And then finally, I have the Archangel Power Tarot cards with Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. Hay House, full 2-piece box. And these, a massive chunky book. And you've got like 2 pages, well, page and a bit, I guess, for each of the cards. Gold gilding, and this is in pretty good nick. Flaked off a little bit in some of the corners, like those corners there. These are the backs. And yeah, I've never resonated with this deck. I regretted buying it after I bought it because I don't like the artwork. And I do have the other decks, and I'm keeping them. Like, I've got the angel one, I've got the fairy one. Even though I'm not into fairies, I actually quite like that tarot deck. And I do have the animal one, and I do have the guardian angel one. And I'm keeping all those because I actually like this structure, the different color borders to signify suits, and I really like the keywords. This one, though, I just find that the artwork seems to be like a Who's Who celebrity deck, because you can see various people from her community in it. And because of that, I've never got into it. I also didn't like the suits being named after archangels. It just didn't work for me. But yeah, it's a little too, yeah, kind of photo manipulated, poor collage in my opinion. I don't love the artwork, and so I never resonated with it because of that. Even though like some of them are lovely, like the 2 of Cups, lovely. Yeah, some of them are beautiful. But you do see, like, for example, one of the cards, you'll actually recognize Doreen Virtue. Another one, you'll recognize Radley Valentine and some other people as well. That's a lovely card, isn't it? Yeah, I do like that one. And they are lovely, as you can see. It's just that bringing in real people is a bit weird to me. It meant that I couldn't actually get into the world of the tarot. So I think that's, yeah, I don't know. I've just never resonated with it. I like some of the others way more. And I've got so many decks that I adore that I can't see myself using this one at this stage. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. But yes, I mean, they are very pretty, and I guess there's nothing wrong with the deck. It wasn't for me. And yeah, the colors are lovely. All right. So that's my decks. As I said, oh my gosh, I've almost gone for an hour showing you decks that I'm rehoming. But if you are interested in any of those, do contact me, let me know. And I mean, if you're outside of Australia, it's probably not worth it. You can probably get them cheaper elsewhere by the time you pay for shipping. But if you're in Australia, and particularly the out of print decks, and you're super keen, let me know. I am in New South Wales, if that helps in terms of postage. And yeah, I'm very keen on them going to happy homes. So thanks for watching and take care. Bye.